Honor, another honor, and another honor. Welcome to a new camera comparison between the Honor 50 against the Honor 70, recorded on an Honor Magic 4 Ultimate. So let's get started. So just like on every camera comparison, we start off by checking out the camera systems, these specs. On the Honor 50 we have a 108 megapixel main camera sensor with a 1/1.56 inch sized sensor, and we have an 8 megapixel ultrawide as well as two useless sensors, I would say, 2 megapixel depth and 2 megapixel macro lens. On the Honor 70 we have a 2 megapixel depth sensor as well, but we have a 54 megapixel main lens, a little bit larger, 1/1.49 inch sized sensor, as well as a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle, and on the front both feature a 32 megapixel front facing camera. So we start off with the Honor 50's front-facing camera, 32 megapixel, but sadly only 1080p recording here, and you can go up to 1080p 60 at least, so it's not just like all those Xiaomi phones that are limited to 30 frames per second, or some other mid-ranges that have this illness. So we can record in 60, but I'm recording at 30 here because I have a 30 timeline. But what do you think about the stability? And I think also the possibility to go to a very wide view that you can see here is pretty nice. I can also go to 1x, which is a bit cropped in, as you can see here. I like this addition because this wide angle is pretty good for vlogging, I would say, because you can capture a lot of details around you, just like kids passing by. And I think HDR is also working nicely, even though the sun is like here in the background, you get still a nice exposure on my face. So let's check out how the Honor 70 is doing in this regard. And now I'm recording with the Honor 70, and I think maybe it might be the same sensor because we have the same kind of limitation, 1080p up to 60 frames per second, and I'm recording with 30 frames per second here right now, but I don't have a slider to zoom in or to zoom out, which is I think it's something in between. The wider angle on the Honor 50 I think is a bit better for vlogging, but anyway, the stabilization, colors, and the blue in the sky, HDR, Honor is known to have very good HDR, is also pretty fine. And I think for vlogging, it is also still okay. It is not as wide as the Honor 50s, I think, but it is still okay. What do you think about this for vlogging? Recording with the main lens, the 108 megapixel sensor on the Honor 50, and this one gives me a nice stability, also wide angle feel, and we have also a nice HDR with the sun in the background, hopefully without any issues. 4K 30 here, this is the maximum that you can record in, and I think it's pretty good from the quality, but you can see maybe a little bit of shadowing going on around me and around my hands and other things, like a black shadow around everything that is in focus, which is a bit of a weird issue. Maybe it's caused by the depth sensor, I don't know, but something that I noticed. Honor corrected this, tried to fix it with more and more firmware updates, and I think on the Magic UI 6 it is almost perfect, but it's not 100% fixed yet. One bummer, I cannot switch to the ultra wide angle because the ultra wide angle doesn't support 4K 30. It only supports 1080p and I think up to 60 frames per second, but I have to check this out. So I cannot go to the ultra wide angle right now without switching resolutions. And now the ultra wide angle on the Honor 50, which is 8 megapixels and pretty wide as well, but has the limitation sadly at 1080p 30. So it is wide enough for vlogging, I would say, if you want to show something of your city or surroundings, but sadly only 1080p, which is, I think, a little bit of a bummer. How's dynamic range here and stabilization? We have here the main 54 megapixel sensor of the Honor 70, which is a tiny bit larger than the Honor 50s, and it's a Sony sensor, Sony IMX800 sensor, so different kind of sensor. How is dynamic range, how is stabilization, how are colors in this one? And I hope it doesn't have this like black shadowing effect that we had on the Honor 50, though I don't think I saw it now in the video recording of the Honor 50. But yeah, what do you think about this one here in terms of quality? I think I like this sensor. In general, I tend to like Samsung Samsung sensors not so much. I tend to like Sony sensors a little bit more. I don't know why, what. I think it has something to do with more natural colors and more natural kind of feeling. But what do you think about this one here? The cool thing about this one is, even if I'm recording 4K 30, which is the maximum that this camera system can record, I can switch to the ultra wide angle, which is now upgraded to a 50 megapixel sensor. Not only the megapixels are upgraded, but also it features autofocusing system. So let's go and switch to the ultra wide angle. There we go. If you switch to the ultra wide angle the first time, you have always this white kind of flash. I don't know what's going on. If you do it the second time, it will then more smoothly zoom out of this. But what I can show you right now is, for example, my Magic 4 Ultimate. I can show it to you very, very close up, and you can see some of the applications that I have installed here, because this has autofocus, the ultra wide angle, and it has close focusing, so it can also be used for macro photography if you want to show something close up, or like the Eye of Muse here of the Magic 4 Ultimate, you can see it as well in a close up. Sometimes it's just like a bit of a mirror, so maybe the autofocus is a bit confused, but yeah, this is a pretty good vlogging camera, I would say. Ideal because high megapixels, good HDR, autofocusing if you need it, and the wide angle field of view. This is exactly what I wanted for the Honor 50. Honor was listening and gives us now on the Honor 70 the upgrade that we deserve for all those people who like to vlog with the ultra wide angle. What do you think about this? I like it pretty much. Of colors, more blue, also not only in the sky but also in the river here, and a bit more yellowish on the Honor 70. The truth lies somewhere in between. It's a bit more bluish than the Honor 70, but the Honor 70 comes more close to what it's real actually. When it comes to detail level here, interestingly enough, I think it also misfocused on the Honor 70, because we have like a little bit less details here and we have a bit more details, even though the shadows are a bit more lifted on the Honor 70. In general, the Honor 70 has a bit of better HDR handling, and you can see it also clearly here in the ultra wide angle shot. Spoiler alert, the ultra wide angle is wider on the Honor 70, 30 millimeters I think, and on the Honor 50 it's 60 millimeters, so you get this wider shot and you get more HDR, better HDR. We have a kind of haze going on the Honor 50, and we don't have this haze here on the Honor 70. It's a bit darker therefore, but also the details are a bit better there. The sharpness is better. When you go to the edge, of course, it gets a bit unsharp here as well. Overall, I think the colors again are a bit more accurate on the Honor 70. The ultra wide angle is simply better than on the Honor 50. When it comes to zoom lens, the Honor 50 redeems itself because it has much sharper zoom lens, much more pixels to work with. You can see here it is getting very pixelated, but all the little details that you can see here with this 108 megapixel 2x zoom, it's just simply amazing. Here on the Honor 70 we have less of those, and heavy noise reduction applied, and the detail level is not there, but we have this haze going on here in the background that we don't have on the Honor 70. It has much more colors, better HDR when zoomed in, though the sharpness definitely the Honor 50. Close-up shots with the main lens, we have a bit of focusing issues on the Honor 50. The Honor 70 is focusing nicely. The Honor 50 was focusing on the background for some reason. In terms of sharpness and detail level, I think they are on par. Again, the colors are more accurate on the Honor 70. We have the dedicated macro lens on the Honor 50, and we are using the ultra wide angle on the Honor 70. And the Honor 50 has like only 2 megapixels, so it's not really worthwhile talking about it because you cannot get close enough to have lots and lots of information in this shot. Where on the Honor 70, I'm also not very close, but because I have more pixels to work around with, I get more details already, and I can get even closer. It has autofocus, and then I have much more details and much more interesting things to show here on the Honor 70. So close macro photography with the Honor 70 is way better. Zoom in shots, more contrast on the Honor 70, focusing working a little bit better. I think it's not everything sharp here, but the Honor 50 was like focusing on the background for some reason. Bokeh busyness, I think a bit busier on the Honor 70 here in this zoomed in shot. Yeah, I like the Honor 70 in terms of colors better, and you can see it here as well in terms of colors. Main lens again, we have a bit of reddish kind of color here for the tree, which is a bit of weird because the tree looked a little bit more like on the Honor 70, not so much red. And the same goes for some other colors here. Overblown highlights, I think both suffer a little bit from it, but I think that the pronouncing the colors on the Honor 50 is pronouncing this even more When it comes to other colors, you can see here, for example, this flower more reddish on the Honor 50 for sure, also focusing again, some issues there on the Honor 50. And the Honor 70, first of all, much sharper, and it has the more accurate colors because it's not this red as on the Honor 50. And you can also see it here, even if it's not so pronounced. We get a bit closer on the Honor 70, a bit further away on the Honor 50 when it comes to close focusing distance. When it comes to detail level, you can see again the Honor 70 much more details in the leaves here, where the Honor 50 has like less details. Also the color here, I tend to see a little bit more red in this kind of leaf, where I see a bit more blue in this kind of Honor 70 leaf here. So I like the color more on the Honor 70 because it comes closer to reality. Again, it was a bit more bluish, just like in the background here. And that is a slight difference there as well. And in terms of colors, on the ultra-wide angle, we have also more accurate colors on the ultra-wide angle. Just compare those two green cars here. It looks like it's a different car, but it is the same. And the Honor 70 has a more accurate color because it is such punchy, catch your eye green. Also detail level, these garage doors here, they have this kind of structure, even if there's a bit more going on the Honor 70, and on the Honor 50 it's completely smoothed out. And you can also see the Toyota logo a little bit more clear, the car in the foreground a bit more clear on the Honor 70, on the Honor 50 is a bit blown out, and the same goes for the other cars here, license plate and so on. You can see that the Honor 70 has the better ultra-wide angle, it's simply doing a better job. Low light photography, both doing a very good job in mid low light conditions, like dim lit conditions, I would say. The Honor 50, however, has a bit of better white balance. It's not so yellowish, where the Honor 70 has a bit more yellowish white balance. We saw that already in general with the main lens, so might be excused. But when it comes to zoom in and taking a look at the detail levels, we have more sharpening on the Honor 50. We have a bit closer shot on the Honor 70, which I was standing at the same position, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But we have a bit more details on the Honor 70 for sure. The colors, the details, the colors are almost the same as you can see here, even though the difference regarding the white balance. So it's very, very cool. Then we come to ultra low light, and here I was impressed by the Honor 70. It's really ultra low light. I couldn't see the hammer or all the other tools there. I know that they are there, but I couldn't see them. And the Honor 50 is doing an impressive job already, but the Honor 70 is adding on top of this in terms of brightness. But when you zoom in, it's interesting because it tends to be a little bit sharper on the Honor 50. I'm not sure what algorithms they have. I think they let a little bit more noise in, but they also have some algorithms to pronounce all these little textures in the woods, as you can see here in the background, where there's no texture here. It's like pronounced on the Honor 50. Maybe it's adding some kind of extra algorithm. And you can see it also here, much noisier, much brighter here, but also sharper on the Honor 50. Could be also because the lens is a bit wider open, or the sensor a bit bigger on the Honor 70. But yeah, this is the big difference that you can see here. So it tries on the Honor 50 to add some texture to it, where the Honor 70 is said, no, we have noise there, let's smooth it out. So that's, I think, the difference here. But all in all, the texture here, for example, cannot be seen on the Honor 50. So I think the Honor 70 is the clear winner.
What do you think of both of them, the Honor 50 and the Honor 70? I have to say I like the Honor 70 quite a bit more because of the better vlogging capability with its 50 megapixel ultra wide angle. And also I think the colors are a bit more natural on the Honor 70, especially in photo mode. The sharpness maybe slightly a bit there as well, but the Honor 50 definitely with its 108 megapixels has a better zoom capability. So if it crops in and then does the pixel binning, you get a little bit more out of the Honor 50 for zooming shots. But yeah, ultra wide angle is better, focusing maybe a slightly bit better on the Honor 70 as well. And I also like the front camera a bit better here for some reason. I don't know really why, probably because of the bit more closed up, not too far away, so the ideal vlogging kind of distance that you get on it. And yeah, the nice little features of the camera on the Honor 70. So in general, I would say better main sensor, better ultra wide angle. I think overall the better package on the Honor 70. What do you think? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, bye.